Good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. And I'm back with another visual. You dig? You dig? Hey man, check it out, man. Monday morning, back to the grind, back to the greasy. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. You know, grind time once again. We got the holiday right around the corner. Thanksgiving coming up. You dig? Black Friday, the whole nine. You dig? But yeah, man. And as the title says, why Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani outsmarts Brandon Johnson. And outsmarts basically the entire Democratic Party. I did a video maybe a couple weeks ago about Zohran Mamdani being uh, Mayor Brandon Johnson 2.0. And I got that video did pretty good, man. It had, a nice amount of views. I think, man, if you didn't check it out, it was really good. It had, it got pretty much a lot of good responses on it. It had a good 500 to 600 views, which is typically more than what I generate, working on it. But yeah, it's one of my most viewed videos, you know what I'm saying? And I would have to say that as it stands right now, he's smarter than Brandon Johnson, so he ain't Brandon Johnson 2.0. Now, if you didn't know, Zohran Mamdani is a socialist, communist that has been elected mayor. He is one of those guys that believes that socialism is the key to bringing the city of New York out of its deficit, making it more affordable. But the problem with socialism is we look at all the socialist countries that have tried that, from Cuba to Venezuela to, certain parts of Europe. Wherever they tried a socialistic approach, those societies have collapsed. I mean, let's just look at Venezuela. Venezuela was the richest, most wealthiest uh, Hispanic country in the world. You know, it was doing extremely well. Now you have the citizens of Venezuela fleeing Venezuela after they adopted a socialistic approach to their society. It collapsed their economy. Now they running from Venezuela to the United States, where we have a capitalistic society. Uh, Zohran Mamdani wants to have he ran on a campaign of freezing rent and um, not charging for free buses, and defunding the police. Then he backtracked on that. A lot of his policies that he ran on, which he won basically in a landslide against Cuomo, is, to me, which most people would say is the cause of why socialist societies have failed time and time again. It's never worked. But people love free. When they hear the word free, um, they just, you know. But we live in a capitalistic society, and people try to demonize capitalism. But all it says is this: as human beings, you have to compete to be successful. Everybody can't be on the same plane, on the same level. That's not going to work. Certain people work harder, so they deserve more. Certain people go and they get training for different positions, so they acquire more money. I mean, if you try to sit up here and pay everybody $30 an hour that you know flip burgers and French fries, that's going to destroy your economy. It sounds good on the surface, and his whole policy of taxing the rich. And that's one of the main reasons why I said he was Brandon Johnson 2.0. Uh, the problem with that, yeah, it sounds good on the surface, but when you add more taxes on the rich, like Brandon Johnson has done, we've seen the corporations have disappeared downtown Chicago. And when that happens, all of those buildings that the rich, wealthy people were paying taxes on, some people probably, paid 200, $300 million in taxes. Now, when they leave and go to another state, preferably a red state with lower taxes, they take those tax-paying dollars with them, and that debt still has to get paid. And what have we have here in Chicago? People property taxes have tripled, even quadrupled, upwards over 100%, of what they were paying last year. So yeah, the idea is to cut spending instead of raising taxes. You want to lower taxes for not only the wealthy, but also the middle class and the poor. You want to try to get away from taxing anybody. And there's different ways that you could go about it. You can cut spending, just like with Brandon Johnson. He had a forensic audit team that's of professionals come in and say, well, this is how you can avoid raising taxes, and this is how you can, you know, make it affordable for everybody, more affordable for everybody. You spending too much money here, you spending too much money there. You need to cut spending. And Mayor Johnson has told the forensic audit team, nah, I'm not going to do that. I might take a couple of these ideas, which they could have saved him hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Now you got Chicago flips red. Uh, they're telling homeowners do not pay property taxes until the federal government comes in and audits this Brandon Johnson's administration. You know, don't pay your property taxes, everybody. And I think that's a tremendous idea. I think it's a marvelous idea that if everybody could get on accord with that and don't pay any property taxes, you will force Brandon Johnson's hand. You will force his administration. The governor, everybody's going to get involved. And that's going to alert the federal authorities to come through and do a full investigation. Where's your tax dollars going? You charging me 100% influx what I was already being charged, right? But you don't have any anything in the community to show for it. The roads are still terrible. The schools are still terrible. Um, I mean, Barack Obama building his library. I mean, but outside of that, what is the city doing extra to compensate for how they're charging the American citizens quadruple in some cases on their property taxes, right? So, but that's why I looked at with Zohran Mamdani, because his policies were like Brandon Johnson on steroids. But the thing where he outsmarts Brandon Johnson is the fact that he went and sat and talked and met with the president of the United States, right? Something that Brandon Johnson has refused to do. And I always try to understand, like, as a mayor, as a governor, why would you not work with the president? Brandon Johnson has a $1.1 billion deficit in the city of Chicago. You know, how do you get on national television and criticize the man that is responsible for, giving you federal funding? How do you say, well, listen, you want mass deportation? I'm not going to work with you, Mr. President. And the president said, "Well, we're gonna do it anyway. We gonna send in, you know, ICE, and you know, if we're gonna have mass deportation anyway." And all they were saying was, "Hey, Brandon Johnson, you being a sanctuary city, we're not really even tripping on the illegal immigrants that's not a threat to society. When you arrest these illegal immigrants, give us a call, the ones that commit crimes, so we can come to the jail and pick them up. That way we don't have to go into the community, which would be more dangerous for the illegal immigrant. That'll be more dangerous for the community and more dangerous for the ICE agents." But instead, he said, "No, the dumbest thing I've ever heard of." And now we have what we have going on as it pertains to these ICE raids in Chicago. That all the mayor had to do and the governor had to do was open up the jails and let ICE in there. I mean, for one, if they illegal immigrants and they committing crimes, why would you want them out your city? You know, I would think that, that would be a easy compromise. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you? I mean, because all they do is they commit a crime. Say a legal immigrant goes to a store and steals merchandise out of it. They get caught. They go to jail, right? Now, under illegal immigration and sanctuary city status, they can only keep the illegal immigrant for maybe 2 weeks to a month, and then they just have to re-release them back to society. That's dangerous, right? And a lot of those times when they be repeat offenders, they end up committing more heinous crimes. And we've seen a lot of cases where they have actually started to rob people. They had also started to rape people, women. They also have unalive people. They don't talk about that, right? It's a lot of human trafficking going on with that just for them to get here in the country. A lot of them are ex-trafficked. It's a lot of dangerous activity around that. And Zohran Mamdani was saying this, he was going to do the same thing in New York. He gave his acceptance speech. "If you come for one of us, you're going to have to come for all of us, Mr. President. I'm going to be," Zohran Mamdani was sitting up there like, "I'm going to be your worst nightmare." Zohran Mamdani, you don't have no power. If you and the governor of New York, you trying to all this free stuff you talk about, you gonna give people, uh, you know, government ran grocery stores. It just sounds crazy, right? All this socialism talk, but how you gonna pay for it? Ain't nothing in life free. So you talk about you gonna do all this, Mr. Elect Mamdani, but the governor Holcomb, she said she not raising taxes, and that's you want to raise people taxes $9 million worth of taxes. The mayor said, "I ain't doing that." So you gonna need somebody. So he went and met with the president. Could make no mistake, right? Zohran Mamdani going around here ran on the campaign. "I'm gonna give you all this free stuff, free, free, free." As soon as he got elected in the office, what'd he do? He went and made several commercials begging the people that voted for him for donations. "Please donate, please donate, please donate. This is how we gonna have to, this is how we gonna need money to pay for this free stuff," right? Apparently, we gonna need money. So we need, if you voted, man, make a donation, man. It don't matter, man. $5 to 500. Hey, if you got 5,000, man, hey, 5 cents, we'll take it all, right? And everybody looking like, "Well, wait a minute, you just ran on the campaign." 5 seconds into office, you already begging for money, right? So reality is hit with Zohran Mamdani. Now, mind you, this is a 34, 35-year-old, you know, second generation rich kid. I mean, Alex, the Soros, George Soros' son, Alex Soros, helped fund this campaign. You know what I'm saying? So we know who's backing him. And I'm trying to understand, if you got Alex Soros, they billionaires. Why are you asking the people that voted for you for donations? Shouldn't they be giving you $9 million? What's $9 million to them if they billionaires? You know, that's like $9 to the average person. Like, he's a multi-billionaire. But in any event, he got out here and started asking the same people that voted for him for donations. Right? He goes and meets with President Trump. They go live on national television. Smart, right? Because if the governor not gonna give you she not gonna do the plan you talk about raising people taxes, the money, the funding gonna have to come from somewhere for some of this stuff that you're trying to do. Now, you know, President Trump met with him, and he's a deal maker. The meeting seemed to go surprisingly well, right? They saying that, hey, we're gonna work together on some things. I think that Mayor Mamdani gonna be, now they were just going back and forth with each other. But this is where he's smarter at, because even if, like, for example, one of the reporters called him out early in the press conference. Like, man, you sitting here with the president of the United States, Mr. Mamdani, and you said he was a fascist, right? Do you still feel like he a fascist? Right? And he started to give this word salad answer like, well, you know, I've been on the planet for 34 years and I lived my life. And Trump said, hold fast, bro. Just say yes. It's just easier to just say yes instead of trying to explain this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he feels like I'm a fascist. You know what I'm saying? But we still going to work to try to, because, what people have to understand is this. Trump is from New York. So he wants to see New York do better, right? New York being a Democratic ran state and city, you know, that's where he's from. So he has a lot of, love for his hometown. So it's the mayor. Hey, but this is a political win for Trump, because if either way it goes, if Mamdani works with the president, as far as they said he was going to work with him with illegal immigration. If Mamdani opens up the jails and just let Trump come get the illegal immigrants, he don't have to go and do the raids like they're doing in Chicago. So you're not going to have mass deportations in the streets with the citizens. They're going to come in, get the ones that's committing heinous crimes, and get them up out of here. That way they ain't got to go in the streets. Same thing Brandon Johnson should have did. This where Mamdani said he going to work with the president on that. Let's see if he does it. Yeah, he gets an office in January. Now, what I'm guessing is on the back end, Mamdani gonna be like, well, shoot, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, right? Now, I'm gonna need some type of federal funding, and Trump is, depending on what it is, if it ain't too crazy, 9 times out of 10, he gonna do it for him. That's what it's all about, and that's what it should be all about. Reaching across the aisle, regardless if you're Democrat, Republican, regardless if you're conservative, liberal, there should be some bipartisanship when it comes to seeing what's best for the country, what's best for New York, what's best for your city, what's best for your state, what's best for the country. They don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? They just doing what's best for their constituents. Trump constituents being the American people, Mamdani constituents being the citizens of New York. I don't know why the rest of the Democratic Party don't understand this, but the Democrats are now mad at Mamdani for being, you know, buddy with Trump, it seems to appear. What y'all mad about? This is politics, man. He's doing the, I mean, now if he go against the grain, because you see, Mamdani, he'll flip flop like chameleon paint on the old school Chevy. He'll flip flop. If he get in there and do the opposite, Trump be like, well, see that, hey, he in New York is falling off. Well, he gonna be a political punching bag for the Republican Party and Donald Trump. And you like, look, now he came in here and said that he was gonna work with us, and you see what's wrong with New York is failing. If he'd have worked with us, we wouldn't have these problems. Now, on the flip side, if he worked with the president like he said he is in the meeting, then you see New York doing better. Trump be like, see, the rest of you Democrats stupid. Y'all should have did what Mamdani did. Just like what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. Right? Memphis, Tennessee, the mayor in Memphis, black mayor, I forget his name, said, yeah, come on in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go ahead, get them up out the street. Send in the National Guard, man, so we can. Now, you don't hear nothing about Memphis, Tennessee. But Chicago, just this past week, you done had teen takeovers. You done had grammar school kids jumping on sick mothers with sickle cell and they kids, and you done had multiple shootings. I heard a father and a son got robbed and unalive. You got all this crime. I think we got 600 unalivings this year. 4,000 shootings in Chicago. But y'all don't want the National Guard, man. Knock it off, man. What is it gonna take? Right? What is it gonna take? Sometimes, hey, obviously, we done lost control of the youth in Chicago. It's out of control. It's time to start saving lives. But Mayor Mamdani is outsmarting Brandon Johnson and essentially the rest of the Democratic Party by working with the president. The president is the man that has access to the resources that you need to be successful in your city. Why wouldn't you work with him? Mind-boggling. But hey, man, we gonna pay attention to what's going on with these mayors and these cities. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. These are my thoughts, and we should see you soon. Peace and blessings.